I gotta get this right, you know. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. God, that was so bad. So today I've just completed a new podcast, but this time it's actually on a video. Hence why I'm recording it on this, as well as I've got my mic set up. There are a few video and audio quality issues, but I'm sure you can respect that. Hopefully that can get resolved later on. But for me, this is just a big setup. So I want to thank Abs, Marisa and Pranav for getting involved in this. And hopefully we could do many more. But in terms of this YouTube channel, I actually don't know where to go with it. I mean, for the last few months, I know it's been tough for everyone. I want to see where things go, to be honest. I might make a new channel to set up for a podcast. I do not know, so it's seeing where things go, depending what audiences, what you guys want, of course. Seeing where things progress, really. But for me, like as a video editor, as an aspiring video editor, I really want to do this kind of stuff, and it's really fun. And I really enjoyed editing this to a massive scale, even though there was obviously so many issues, like I said, about the camera kept cutting out, and as well as sound qualities. I think you'll really enjoy it. So of course, stick around. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and obviously you can listen to all our podcasts on Spotify as well. So if you don't want to eat up all your data, I'd advise going and listen to that. Okay, enjoy the video. Okay, is everyone ready?
All good.
I don't know what camera to look at.
Yeah, which one do we start?
So
we just go right straight back into it.
Don't
So
get
R2 cameras is that one.
We're gonna start. Today we're joining the podcast with Adam, Marisa, and Pranav. Today we're looking at Cape Fear from 1991. And don't go to work. I'm an orange oaf and I don't know what to do with my job in my life.
Wow. That's like the worst intro you could do to our first video podcast.
First video podcast, guys. You can finally see the faces of the idiots behind the podcast.
We've also got our featured owl. So
Hedwig.
It sounds like the guy from
Do you want to see my dance moves?
Kanye West. Which one do you want? A red bucket for cleaning the floor, or? Anyway, so today, guys, I don't know what camera we're looking at. We are doing our first video podcast. This is very exciting. It took me ages to set this up and get this ready. And today's film we are doing is Cape Fear. Very chilling thriller that was selected by Marisa or Maurice.
How do you sleep at night after watching this film?
It was rather entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like I don't feel safe sitting next to it right now.
Saying, oh yeah, this is the film to pick. You know? This is the one. Do you want to break it down or just do whatever?
I can break it down. Okay, so we've got Max Cady, who has basically just come out of prison for inappropriate, I don't know, what would you call it?
Battery.
Raping kids.
Yeah,
That.
with girls,
Eating
young
people.
girls. And he's basically out to get revenge on...
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Sam Bowden.
Sam.
On the because he was part of the reason on so Nick Nolte's character Sam, who basically he was the reason why he went into prison because he didn't defend him well enough in court, so he's out to get revenge even though he technically was guilty, but you kind of find that out throughout the film.
It's been directed by Martin Scorsese, done so many films. I admire him so much. It's also based off a novel as well by John MacDonald. And there was an earlier screenplay done in 1962, I think. That was done by James Webb, and then it's obviously been adapted to a more modern style that we know today. And it has, of course, the famous Robert De Niro. I think personally this film, for me, is like, this is the best I've seen of De Niro. I've seen like Taxi Driver, and then we've seen like Limitless and all that, and I wasn't really... Yes, Taxi Driver is very famous for like the context to it, but this in terms of character, which we will get into, this is the one that I feel is like, bro, it gets all out of him. You also got Nick Nolte.
Yeah. Jessica Lange. You are choosing. Jessica Lange is also in, I believe it's American Horror Story. It's a long-running series, so she is definitely a big name in that.
Yeah, and I've also put down like Warrior and 48 Hours.
Yeah.
Some of the big ones. Jessica Lange, she was in the 1976 of King Kong. One of the originals in that. Tootsie and Night and the City. You also got the daughter, Juliette Lewis, from Dusk Till Dawn. She was also featured in Ma and Natural Born Killers. You got others as well, John Doe Baker, Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck. So quite a few. It's quite a small cast, but honestly, all those characters I think hook you in. You also got cinematography done by Freddie Francis. He's done loads. One of his most famous is obviously The Elephant Man. I believe he directed and did the cinematography to that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And loads of other people. But go to my script. You know, this is the one thing with this video.
All our podcasts are scripted.
It's now all scripted, so you can buy it off eBay or Amazon if you want to. But that's what we're following today. I know we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But like, what do we think about this movie without spoiling it too much? I mean, Marisa, you obviously picked this film. When you first saw it, or whenever the last time you saw it, like what do you think of it?
I really liked it. I went through a bit of a phase. Like, I watched this over lockdown, was the first time I watched it, and I went through a phase of watching like a lot of like De Niro and Pacino films over lockdown, and because obviously with the genre and stuff, I really like this one, so I thought this was a good film to watch, and it was suggested to me by my dad as well, and he's always suggested these kinds of films as well. And I just thought it was really entertaining because it's like thriller with a bit of horror, but it's also got a bit of comedy in it as well. And of course, De Niro is always really good to watch in general, just to see all the characters that he plays. He's played some really like vast characters over the years, so it's always admiring to watch his acting skills.
Yeah, I would class this more of a horror movie as such because there's that real tension. I don't want to like obviously spoil it for these guys, obviously, but like it really grips you. Like, I can see why you wanted us to watch this, because from that second, from the word go, it really gets you on the edge. And I was sweating throughout, even the scenes where you think, oh yeah, everything's calm. Nothing's calm through this movie. Pranav, what do you think then?
He really reminded me of the Joker. You know why?
Really?
He really reminded me of Joaquin Phoenix in his acting and his looks and the way he behaved. It was a lot like the Joker.
Huh? Still haven't seen that film.
Why not?
See?
I have no life at the moment.
You have no life.
You know the Joker though, innit? So it's like, you kind of root for him, you kind of want him to get the guy, but at the same time, like, this is bad guy, you don't know who to root for. I don't know who I was rooting for. I was like, just someone kill each other, I don't know, what if you kill each other?
One die. Only one can live.
His acting, really good right off the bat when you just see him flexing. Absolutely flexing them.
Proper flexing everything.
All those gym lads you now see after lockdown, like, oh, get my pecs out, like, rolling their shoulders back. But then their top is a bit funny. But Abs, what do you think? Is this a first watch for you?
First watch for me. Definitely something I enjoyed. It was definitely a very nice film. I definitely think it was a different type of Scorsese film. You don't really get, that kind of, which I would say, almost dystopian film. Yeah. I know. Listen, indubitably, scrupulous.
Yours sincerely.
Thank you.
The kindest requests.
Yeah. With regards to Scorsese in this film, I think he definitely went out of his normal sort of genre. He looked into that sort of almost horror thriller era, and hats off that I think the small cast, which benefited the movie entirely. You didn't, you got proper character development.
Yeah, but I think we should break down this movie, to be honest. I mean, there is so much to talk about. So, spoiler alert, now putting flashing signals, and we've got that siren.
Epilepsy.
Yeah. But if anyone's listening on Spotify, that will come up as well. Let's start with positive. Of course, we mentioned. I would start with De Niro's character and the portrayal of Max Cady. For me, it is very similar to what's his face, Anthony Perkins playing Norman Bates from Psycho. If anyone not seen that film, that for me still gives me the chills, especially as anything. But throughout this movie, it was a masterpiece. Like, did he even win an Oscar for this? Like, did anyone?
I don't know.
I don't think he did, no, but it was definitely masterful. Like his
Yeah.
ability to capture who Cady is or was something else. He really embodied the character.
Really did. I was on edge of some of the scenes I was watching, and I was like, wow, like
Wow.
like just kind of the stuff he like, because his character, you know, he's a psycho basically, but I was really like, oh my god, like this is just, but you're hooked into it as well, like you still want to see where it's gonna go with his character. It's kind of like what Pram was saying about who you're rooting for, and it's like, yeah, but some of the scenes I remember watching it for the first time. I remember being like cringed out at some of it, but like in a good way, in the sense that the acting was really good as well.
Good way.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like it's.
I know, we're not talking about the scene with.
No, but
It's
like
acting is so. It's like when the
The-
acting is so good.
yeah, the
that
acting is
it
good.
makes you feel uncomfortable.
Comfortable, yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
the sort of acting you want. Just like a portrayal of villains. You know, it's like he's a classic villain, and he's done something else there to sort of capture being sadistic, but also not having any morals regarding what he's doing.
Playing a good villain, basically.
Yeah, very good villain.
It was Oscar nominated, by the way. I just did
Nominated.
I didn't just check my Candy Crush notification.
What's your high score?
You know.
No, look at
We won't talk about that.
But do we think we're rooting more to De Niro's character rather than like the character of Sam? Because obviously Sam, like in the previous kind of what we find out with the story, he was the lawyer that tried to help him, and then kind of turned on him because he found out what Max had done. So are we almost then kind of saying, yeah, are we rooting for Max to kind of see what he does, or are we looking for something else?
A lot of it is kind of unclear at the beginning, though. You kind of find out more as you go along, so you're kind of like, why is he doing what he's doing? What actually happened? But then you kind of find out more towards the end, and you don't like support Max in the end, because obviously he wasn't in the wrong. But
It's the way Scorsese portrays it, because Scorsese flips everything on its head. You see where progressively you see how Max becomes a good guy in our eyes, because obviously the lawyer who's trying to protect his family becomes unhinged and has to do whatever he can to save his family. So as a result, his family starts to turn on him. He becomes the anti-villain of the film, whereas in reality he did a good thing to a bad guy, and ultimately paid the price by the bad guy setting out on a vendetta.
Literally.
See, I don't know. I don't think even the evidence that we got at the end, I don't think it changed my opinion on him, because at the start when he said he hid those documents, where he did it because of what he did to the girl. So I was like, that's what the information that we got. But I don't think I was really supporting him. I wanted him to get revenge, but I don't think I was supporting him.
You want to see how the revenge is going to go. Like you slow that, you know that one scene that we'll get to. It's like you see the way Max Cady works him is psychologically. Rather than it being physical on him, it's those around him that he physically attacks, but not the main three, until right at the end.
Yeah.
So he plays a slow, methodical torture to mentally destroy him before he physically just gets rid of him.
And he doesn't actually go to him like directly. It's not like he's going up with a knife.
Yeah.
He's kind of having a knife to someone's friend, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry if I'm pointing at
Yeah.
you, but
See,
like,
look at this. I've known him 6 years and he wants to murder me. Wow.
yeah, of course. And he's almost like that one step ahead.
Yeah.
Like whatever he's thinking, you know Max is going to be.
He says
ahead.
it as well. That's what he says. You know, there's that scene where obviously the bad guy, well, you know, the bad guy's getting beaten up by the three thugs. He gets back up and he's saying, "I'm still ahead of you." You can see he's got his own like little god complex going on there.
He is a literal god. But let's talk about the specific scene. I
That
think
one scene.
we're between, I believe it is Max and who's the daughter?
Lewis, isn't it? Danielle
Danielle.
Bowden.
That was like I was like, ugh,
The
like
theatre scene.
yeah, and
I was cringing out at that.
It's a bit uncomfortable.
like if proper when like me and Natasha, like when we were watching it, we were like, ugh, like this is proper like grim, but at the same time it's like that whole progression between them. It felt like it sounds really weird, but like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
But if you've seen, but no, hang on. If you've seen like the old movies, how Willy Wonka's just like, oh yeah, there's the children or whatever.
Are you calling Willy Wonka a paedophile?
Yeah, I'm calling
Max
Willy-
Cady is
Shut
Willy
up,
Wonka. Max Cady is Willy Wonka. End of story. Bye, guys.
He was in like a Willy Wonka setting in little like child's
It's a little
house.
suit and everything.
No. Oh, you know what it is? What's the not a nursery, but the storytelling of, oh god, where the granny cooks like cookies and feeds them to the
All I can think of with Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yes, it's almost like here's the cookie num num, like here's the cookie.
Here's thumb.
But like it was like that, and it was almost like he wasn't forcing it on himself. As weird as it was, and like the scene itself like played itself out, like and what were you
About
talking
that scene actually.
It was all improvised.
It's
It's actually really.
It's actually
and
really
good.
good.
It says here, of course, like
It's on this side. It's on this side
oh,
here.
you've been reading ahead of me.
My fact better not be on him, mind me.
So that scene was originally not rehearsed. So all Scorsese said to Lewis is said, De Niro's going to do something to you. Whether you like it or not, you're just going to have to accept it. But honestly, that reaction,
God.
that whole thing, was just chilling. It was just like...
I was so like discombobulated. I was like, what the fuck? What? Like, he was like,
It was all done in one take as well.
Yeah.
It was.
One take.
You know what? One thing, I applaud the acting. Well done to De Niro and Lewis for keeping that level of professionality. But damn, does Scorsese push the fucking limits? Like, it's just typical Scorsese. Just be like,
Big time
he's
guy.
gonna do something. Fucking deal with it. That's exactly what he's like. You know?
Sometimes that's the best thing though, because I watched, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Heat with Pacino and De Niro in, and for that film, one of the famous scenes from that film is the coffee shop scene, is because it wasn't rehearsed, and I was watching I was watching a YouTube video about it the other day, and I was like, it's actually so true that sometimes it's good to not rehearse scenes, and I think Scorsese making that decision was probably a good thing, because it's the first time they had met, and it's gonna be awkward because of the age difference and because of the characters, and obviously, so sometimes it's kind of good to not rehearse it. I know it's obviously an uncomfortable thing to watch, but
30 fucking year difference.
I know.
That's the weird thing
I thought someone on
about
the set would have stopped there when he was like sticking his thumb in him. I'm like, oh.
Imagine all the police feds coming out. Get down!
God's sake.
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
traumatized.
we got...
I was,
It is. I cringed when I watched it, and I was like,
Sorry.
that is disgusting.
Sorry viewers for my swearing, but it's never gonna go away.
it literally is. That scene was,
PTSD.
it is like, that scene still gives me the chills when I think about it. It's just horrible.
It's
think it
the
tasted nasty.
mouth movement that got me, and I was like, ugh.
But the whole context of that scene is like, theoretically, Max didn't force himself on her.
Yeah.
When you think about it, because she kind of gave the consent, like in a non-consentful way.
Like 15-year-olds can give consent though.
But then she implied it. I don't know.
She goes. And the thing is, you've got a point there, because in the next scene, or when she's obviously in a bedroom with her dad, before he turns psycho and like grabs her like that.
Where is she?
Where is Rachel? Where's Rachel?
This is what we look like when
This
we're doing
this is exactly what it looks like. That's her face the entire time as
I
well.
literally just sit there going, why am I doing
And
this?
this one, Marisa's really quiet.
But so there's that scene, obviously, where she's like, not like he forced himself on me. I'm like, bruh. I was.
He got her on his
Oh.
side basically mentally.
But the thing
What's
is,
his charm?
that's what it is. That's what his plan was, to force everyone else around Sam to turn on Sam.
Mm.
The way everyone else turned on Katie, and as a result of him, the truth of what he did coming out. So he's getting his revenge in the best way he sees how, by having what was done to him on someone else, on the person who did it to him.
Yeah. Did anyone else have like any particular other scenes? There's quite a few, to be honest. On it, or that stand out.
I felt. Oh no, I can't talk about that. We'll talk about that after. Let's talk about the ending. But
The ending. Yeah, I think we'll have to get. I think another scene. I'm trying to think.
It's the scene. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The reveal, isn't it? The when they're in the house, and you think it's the maiden,
The Spanish, yeah.
the Spanish maiden,
Yeah.
and that proper, like, even Natasha and myself went ah. So it was that was pretty much a psycho moment where Max dressed up as the maiden who he already killed, and then pretty much strangled. Was it like a lieutenant, like almost like a undercover?
He was undercut. Yeah, he was like he was a
Private investigator.
private investigator.
Private
That's what he was. Yeah, so he killed him. But another scene that was really good was when De Niro was laughing in the movie theater in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
That was unnerving and just a beautiful scene, and it was scary because he just sat there laughing like an absolute maniac while smoking a cigar, looking like a badass.
Quite annoying. I could picture myself being in the cinema. I was like, oh.
It was annoying, but the thing is, it's just how realistic it sounded and looked like. I think he was having a genuine laugh in that scene or something like that, and then he was proper enjoying himself.
That's the laugh that reminded me of the Joker. That's like that scene. I was like, ooh. Just like from the Joker movie when he's just laughing and
With
he can't
hair
control it.
slicked back
Yeah,
and everything.
the hair
Like that, I
like
think
that.
that's where
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix could have drawn the Joker from. If we're looking back in hindsight, that sort of no line between what's good and what's wrong, what he can and can't do, and what he believes himself to be.
Yeah. As well, I think the one thing actually really surprised me was that music piece, that music score. Yo, like that, when I'm saying from the get-go, when we cut to those classic like titles and everything rolling, the music was just really sudden and oh god, like it really got you on edge. Like yeah,
It was like
it
punching
was-
your ears, like yeah.
and the scenery, like the background of like people's eyes and going into some weird colour
Psychedelic
distortion.
emotions and everything, isn't it?
Oh, it's horrible. And even when, like, I'm not going to spoil the ending yet, but like the ending when you get that final quote, then their eyes turn and then that music comes back. Even now, I've got the shivers. Like, it's just a horrible score, but it worked for the film. Really?
The score was, I think that's one of the first things I said. It was like a very nice intro, and the score was just amazing. Like genuinely, the score was brilliant.
Right off the bat, you knew this guy's pissed off at something. Don't know what, yeah.
You see the tattoos in it.
Working out, you see the tattoos. It's like he's like.
Any guy you see working out with tattoos of a cross on his back or angel wings, you know he's about to fuck shit up.
Yeah. Well, that's one of our facts, isn't it? He became a gym rat, as they say.
Yeah.
He said, it says here, to prepare for the role 6 months before shooting, De Niro began a long-time trainer. Began hitting the gym for 6 days a week for 2 and 3 hours per day. Once filming started, he worked out for 5 hours a night. Just bloody hell, that's like more than me.
That totally wasn't my fact of the week.
Was
You're made redundant.
I kept a few spare ones.
Camera.
I had a few beeps.
Yes, are. Yes, are. I am an ogre. Donkey, get out my swamp.
Donkey. I'm totally not looking for a different fact. Keep going.
On this week's Plan is Redundant,
What was that?
daily podcast with Ab saying Plan is redundant now.
You will never get rid of me.
He's found another.
We do have office work if you want it.
I
Financial.
love me some office work, you know. I love just putting my head down and getting the numbers done.
Let's go to the ending. I think we were talking a lot about it. For me, I put it in my negatives. I don't know what people think. Did you just show what?
That was one
Yeah,
of
fucking
that's one of my reactions from the film. That was like,
It just says fucking hell. I just didn't think it fit.
I wanted more from it. It was like a massive build up to just a bunch of gibberish near the end.
Yeah.
It was just in, like,
it was a lackluster ending, wasn't it? You were expecting some sort of big splash. You were thinking, oh, they're gonna fight to the death, like a proper, like, and then.
it just kind of turned into cavemen. It was like hooga hooga.
I kill you.
Legit, he was
Silence
like,
and
the
forget.
guy with the rock at him. The headshot with the rock was sick. I was laughing
That
so
was
hard.
sick, though. And then I see that Modern Warfare 2.
Just yeeted at his head.
It was just a whole like really weird build up to it. I think they should have actually had the ending when there was that reveal of him dressing up as the maiden. If they had that final fight in that house, that would have been 3 times more scary. Rather than go on a fucking boat, like travel all that way.
I don't know. I just imagine the Purge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just in the house, I was just getting Purge vibes from that.
With the way
There's
they-
so many ways they could have ended that.
I
movie.
wanted him to, after he dressed up as the maid, then he dresses up as the private investigator, takes out the wife, dresses up as the wife, basically the way does the voice again, kills the daughter, dresses up as the daughter, and then eventually gets to him. That would have
That would have been.
hire me as a director.
Really
Scorsese, listen up.
Scorsese,
I
you better
do
take
that.
notes. At your big age, you're getting things from him.
Or even, it was the fact that they show him as such a smart guy, he's always one step ahead, but then he
Yeah.
kind of shows up on the boat, knocks him out, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, want you to get naked. It's like, what? You can do better than this.
The thing, at the end, he becomes, it's that sort of unhinged. He said caveman. Like, he's going into the revenge part of it now. Like, he's had his fun. Now he wants to kill them. And now it's that primeval urge to exact his revenge. So there's that scene where, obviously, it's a nightmare scene, realistically, where he gets burnt and he comes back looking like Freddy versus Johnson, that, the ski mask boy. He's looking like that when he comes back out of the water. I was getting Freddie Johnson vibes. Friday the 13th stuff going on there.
It just felt like the production company just threw a load of money and go, here's a fucking boat to destroy.
I bet it was on a mini scale though, wasn't it?
But at that point in the movie, I wasn't really like on the edge as much as I would. Apart from obviously the final few moments where they're all just like hung up on the beach.
The boat was a bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be there. It was just there to like, just randomly the camera going upside down. It was like, what?
But did you not see in the practical effects the boat was fully getting like destroyed?
Yeah.
And then the camera's going upside down, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm still alright." It's like a roller coaster.
Oh, this is fine.
And
I
the
thought
boat
you
is
were
still
gonna
getting-
walk into Like, I was thinking of the logic, and I was like, hold on. At this point, this man should have been skewered like a fucking kebab.
Yeah.
You know? Like, he should have been a Donna Sheesh with a metal spike through him or something like that. But no, he comes out fine. He's able to pick up a rock.
Surviving for a lot, basically.
Yeah,
The boat
every time.
and the characters.
Yeah. It just felt
Bullshit.
rushed. It felt rushed. It was a bit of
He turned
bullshit.
into like a Bollywood actor.
Yeah,
He
he
just doesn't
did.
die.
Yeah.
It's just lob
May
around,
your-
fire, rock.
Hello. Hello, I'm here. You can't get me. Not go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere, Chancellor.
Don't go anywhere.
What's that Bollywood film where they shoot him and he does like some slow mo like
That's Nollywood. What is it
Yeah.
called? Ugh. It's those ones where they fire the bullet just kind of starts turning when he starts singing a song or something.
or where they do is like where the woman's falling and the guy's still running.
Oh,
And
there's
she's
that
still
TV
running.
series. No, that is annoying as hell.
Oh,
Yo.
she's still falling.
She's still she's falling for like 10 minutes. There was another one, ridiculous. She gets pushed and then she wraps herself up in the curtains and she's like,
Choking herself.
and I'm like, what are you doing, bruv? What are you doing?
You need to add in some of those cuts. You know how they cut?
Yeah.
You show the thunder.
The when Pranav annoys me, just thunder in the background. Like the death eye is like a zoom into my eyes, like.
Just do that into camera.
Guys, oh my God.
Did it? Yeah. Apart from that, just whole ending sequence. I mean, how ridiculous it was. Was there anything else that kind of?
That phone call Exactly. I was so confused. It was like they were just kind of sitting around the table talking. Phone rings, everyone screams, and it kind of pans to everyone one by one.
Wait,
Do you remember like that random scream when he gets a call from the private investigator whilst we're at the dining table, and they will just scream?
No, I'm talking about the scene where she answered the phone from Katie.
Oh, I was talking about the one where it was like a random ass jump scare, which wasn't a jump scare.
Where they were like zooming into like.
I will locate it if I
Yeah,
have
you
to.
got to remember it's from I don't know. Remember this film was like 30 years ago.
1991.
now.
It was 1991 that it came out.
30.
Oh yeah, it's
It was 30. That camera just stopped as well, I think.
Nah, it's still going.
It's still
Just
going.
take a picture.
No, but we were just saying the scene where she answers a call from Max Cady, and it's like, did your parents never tell you stay away from strangers? Did your parents never tell you never answer phones from strangers and never take cigarettes or weed from strangers?
Why would your teacher be calling you at 9 p.m?
Why?
That's what I don't understand.
Exactly.
That's true.
Like,
She's very naive.
Naive isn't
Very,
even
very, very
I was
naive.
calling
brain
stupid.
cells, bruv.
I wouldn't call her naive, just straight
Yeah,
up stupid.
That was stupid when I saw that scene. I was like, well, not only is that entire scene unnerving as hell, and you just see
It shows the art of manipulation, though, doesn't it?
it does. It's a perfect idea of how people get manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to strangers, kids. That's
Yes.
the moral.
I think
Don't
she's
take any cigarettes.
14, isn't she?
15 in the
15.
15 before
15.
turning 16.
Yeah.
15 before turning 16. Yeah.
The other scene that I didn't quite like, it was a fight scene. It was like good. He was getting beaten up. And then he just kind of turns on them and wrecks 3 people at once. That was another scene where I'm like, oh, he turned into a Bollywood actor again.
Yeah.
When
When
the
the guys came.
They reckon him, they have weapons. And then
It's like he turns into
What?
Thanos.
He fully turns into the beast from Split,
Yeah,
doesn't he? He's like,
yeah.
like there's that idea of the God complex, like, oh, if I can't feel pain, I don't feel pain. You can physically break my bones, but I don't feel anything.
Boris, what are you doing there? I can't feel pain, but I
I
can't feel
can feel pain.
No,
Feel pain.
no,
Don't
no.
feel pain. Don't do it.
Go
Do it
to
anyway.
work.
Don't go to work. Go to work.
And also, I felt like the private investigator, he was a lazy arsehole.
He was
Yeah, what the fuck?
useless.
how do you get caught? You have one job, not get caught.
What's he do? Like when the teddy bear is moving, okay, he's like, oh shit. Oh, it's just the window creaking. Oh, give me a whiskey, and then he gets strangled. Why is Sam throwing a load of money at this useless prick? Like, I'm sorry.
the money.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Fine
times
with
they
it.
are. A lot of the times they are useless. Though that's the thing. It's all you know. A private investigator. Oh, look at me! I'm going to follow you around in a car all day.
Every
That's
accident
the-
just
yes.
sounds like Boris now. They've all merged into one.
I ain't no. That's not right. Okay, the Scottish is staying different. Right.
For anyone who's offended right now by any accents.
I don't care. I genuinely don't care.
Please call the helpline.
Helpline.
It's called 0800.
Reckon the line.
100 go fuck you.
Please don't do that. I've lost it. You could also argue, I mean, I said, like, the whole kind of reason why Max is going after, like, Sam.
It's not a good enough reason.
Really?
I don't think so. Because all he's mad at is that he hid a few documents which wouldn't have mattered anyways. Like they said in the whole movie, it wouldn't have mattered because of what he did to the girl. It was
Yeah.
like, he had a document saying that she was, what? Something? What was the word that they used?
Promiscuous.
Promiscuous, yeah. So
Promiscuous,
she was
yeah.
like with multiple men. But that doesn't mean, like he's, like the main guy said, that doesn't mean you can rape her and like beat her up. Whatever it was. So I don't think his reason was good enough. I get that he was saying, but you were my lawyer, you're supposed to defend me
Yeah.
and get me out of jail. But the other guy did the right thing.
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
they do mention Nietzsche. He was a German philosopher, but it's like it's the idea of ethics and philosophy. He's not following through, and that's where he had an issue with Sam because he didn't do what a lawyer's supposed to do, which is completely defend it, but he did the right thing. So it's that sort of good bad balance going on.
Yeah.
So that's what we were interested in knowing, whether obviously he's indeed a bad guy or if Katie's actually innocent. But as we find out in that one scene where he goes for the clerk,
Yeah.
he definitely isn't innocent.
Yeah,
he fucking. That was I'm not gonna lie, as unnerving and scary a scene that was brilliant acting as well as great prosthetics, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna die, but then she just ends up at hospital.
But up until that point, he had my support. I thought he was a smart guy. He was going to play this. I thought he was going to tie her up, get information out of her, and then blackmail him. But then I kind of lost support for him when he actually starts.
I got you now, bitch. He's saying pretty good. I got you now, bitch.
I think it's just a reflection on really much of a psycho he is.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Also, like the bit where, like we talk about how Juliet is very naive, but then all of a sudden she becomes very smart at the end when she tries to like burn him, and then he still survives. It reminds me of like like the Halloween movies of like Michael Myers who just survive. That was the first thing that I said. I was like, he reminds me of Michael Myers. He just survives everything.
Even like Jason from
Even-
Friday the 13th.
even the actual
Jason,
ending.
that's what I'm gonna go Johnson.
Even the ending, I came out and was like, they could have easily done like another movie after this because there's no proof that he actually.
His
Did
hand just kind of
die.
sticks out of
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
You could have just been swimming with a little straw or
Maybe.
something.
The thing is, the way he was looking, like as he was going on the water, it doesn't look like he was.
there.
It was like, I got you now, bitch.
It was like a reenactment of like a B-Tech Titanic scene or something. I won't let go, Jack.
I'll be
You
back.
fucked up, Rose.
I'll be back.
Titanic too.
Titanic 2.
It was all the gibberish that he was saying as well, right at the end. Where he's like,
I was like, is he going full Italian on us? I was like, I thought you went full Italian on us.
I think the I think
Yeah, my dad loves that scene. Like he finds it hilarious. That's the
he's
bit.
just vibing.
The vibes, he's going with the vibes, isn't he?
My dad loves it. He's like, oh, watch the ending. It's just the best bit. He goes, it's just absolute shit, and it is funny.
I think
It's
Scorsese just
actually
think,
funny. Though.
yeah, I think if you just took the whole film out of context, just watch that, you just think, oh, okay.
I'd give him an Oscar just for doing that.
Yeah.
There goes that camera. I mean, that's how people should be using, De Niro. Whereas in Limitless, they completely fucking wasted him.
Can you imagine the end scene in Limitless? Is
Like that. Like that's fully what he was doing.
Every culture. Podcast, can I just see that?
So,
I mean, what do we need now? We just need an Apu from The Simpsons now as well, don't we?
Whoa, come again.
Thank you, come again. We will have you soon. Welcome back to the podcast. Tech service, how might I help you?
Oh boy.
He just sits down. I'm here for a financial deal. Anything else they want to critique about the movie or what they liked or?
I think they played really well with colours and sounds, working those to the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had great cinematography in terms of shots, the way they used some angles, the way they had. Obviously, there's that scene early on in the film where he's brushing his teeth and Jessica Lange is just behind him. There's that sort of bit blur where she's onto the side and he's in the front. They're using a different, angle and lens there. It was quite interesting.
She's just kind of scratching her back. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll do that again.
Yeah, no, but it's
That just gets him going.
like that bit's weird. But I'm saying more like the sort of aesthetic of that scene where it's like the blur where he's so close but she's also in focus at the same time. It's like if it was shot on film, it would probably just been stitched together. Isn't it?
It's that fracture between.
Yeah, it's a fracture, but then they've laid it on top of it like that.
Yeah, it did look nice. I thought the pacing as well was pretty the amount they had to cram in. Like apart from that, obviously the ending sequence, I thought it was really well done. So credit to all the teams behind that.
The bit when he was under the car as well, and I was like, ooh. Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do that scene originally. Listen, all my facts, I just
Alright.
know facts.
Is this
I'm sure
premise?
No, he didn't want to do that scene unless the stunt actor could prove that it can be done. So smart. He didn't want to hang under a car and just go for it. The stunt actor had to prove that he can do it safely, or else he's not going to do it.
He's not an amateur.
He's not. He's not Jackie Chan. He won't just do shit and get hurt.
Tom Cruise or anything.
Tom
like
Cruise.
that.
Who'll break an ankle just jumping off a building. Like he's fully done that as well when he was filming.
He's an old man now.
Yeah.
He'll still do his own stunts. He'll still hang out the side of a plane, which he has.
Yeah.
But also, did you guys notice how the transitions between the scenes? They would use sounds and the last thing that would close and open into the next scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a loud bang into another one, a loud bang into the other one.
Yeah, so kind of sudden, like,
Yeah.
alright, I'm still gripping you.
It's always in the scenes where it's been built up tension, or there's been some sort of crux of the film that we've reached.
Absolutely.
My
So-
boyfriend.
I think it comes nicely to Marisa's fact. No, go on.
No. I do hers in case she's got mine already.
Oh, okay, so it's a bit of a
What, you trying to
jousting.
end on a high though
Yeah.
with yours? Okay.
So we're
I'm
going
trying
to
to make you redundant.
Marisa's.
Go on.
Wow.
Everyone lean in. Everyone lean in.
No, what's with the pressure to like sit back? So
Hedwig splitting.
one of just an interesting fact was that Scorsese was very creeped out by De Niro's accent in the movie. Did you have that?
No, I almost had that.
Almost.
Let's see if you have the full fact, keep it.
Yeah, and then so sometimes creeping out, like when he used to speak to him on the phone, he'd have the accent just to make it worse.
He used to
Was-
leave him voicemails
Yeah.
on his phone.
Yeah.
So he could come back and he was just like, Chancellor, I'm gonna get you.
It was such a weird accent for us to hear De Niro. You know, he's no longer got the New York accent. He's got that sort of mobster accent, but now he's got the southern Texan
Proper
accent,
yeah.
proper southern. There's different variations, but he's got like that sort of Texan southern
It's that
accent.
half like cigar voices out there.
You just offended every southerner in the US.
We're going
How many people can abs offend?
It's like, look,
As
check
a
this.
friend of the week.
There's a lot of dislikes on this.
Dislike this video if you think Abs's accent's already bad.
Or just downright offensive.
Or like if you think this video's great.
You're gonna get the face.
Like the video.
Very nice.
Alright, Borat, calm down. I like you.
I like his ex.
It's nice.
We've got to do Borat at some point.
You know what? I think they're shooting another Borat
They
film.
are.
They are.
Borat
They-
2.
they're
Borat
shooting
2.
Borat 2.
Thank you.
Mate,
I think we should just go on a Borat marathon and see how a podcast goes.
Sick.
God.
Come
I'd
on,
hate
Pranav,
to be next to
what
you
could
three
top-
doing a
what
review.
What could
You're
top
already
that?
sat here
It's
doing a
gonna
review
be
with
fun.
us three.
Yeah, I know, but if it was Borat though, oh my god.
And we already did
Very good.
Dictator. You weren't. You,
Very nice.
It's nice.
Podcast.
a very nice podcast.
Did I leave you with any left?
He's panicking.
Shia LaBeouf was originally considered for the role. No, I'm joking.
Shia LaBeouf-
I just have to say it, you know. We say every podcast
Do
that
it.
Shia LaBeouf was in it for some reason. He's somehow involved.
Shia LaBeouf was like 5 years old when it came out.
Fine.
Shia LaBeouf is in everything though.
You did say actually quite a few of my facts, but first one, his tattoos were done with vegetable dyes, which faded after a few months. So
So you had an actual tattoo done, but with a vegetable dye.
took a few months to go out, so you probably had to walk around on the beach at some point with really dangerous tattoos all over him. But here's a good one. Totally not a last minute one that I found as a backup after you took mine. Robert De Niro paid a dentist $5,000 to make his teeth look shit for the movie,
No way.
for the role.
And then
And then he paid $20,000 to have them fixed.
Fucking hell.
So
Sounds like Bobby Firmino.
why would you get your teeth fucked? That's
At that point, he's got so much money.
true.
20 grand is like his 20 quid.
I'll get grills later.
You
Yeah.
just said that in a De Niro accent. 20 man.
So what I'm telling you is,
Beautiful.
so we're using like
£5.
five G's, like 5 pence, you know.
Nothing, I get the dollar.
I've got one more fact.
Oh, God,
which
we're-
was Steven Spielberg was originally set to direct it.
If it was Steven Spielberg, I didn't think it would.
as well.
I don't know if it would
The,
work.
the
with
rights
Spielberg.
were swapped from because Spielberg was kind of getting like, oh, I don't think I'll be fit for this movie.
Yeah, so he asked for
Scorsese was originally meant to do Schindler's List, and then vice versa, and then they just swapped rights over, and it actually worked out both ways. To
Do we have a fact of it?
No, I'm stopping now. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
everyone's using their phones. This is off the top of my head.
Sorry.
They're
The
so
climax
ill-prepared.
of the film was shot in a 90-foot water tank on a soundstage. It took 4 weeks to shoot.
Indoors as well.
Boom!
Did you hear this?
No, we can
It's now a phone war.
You just wanted to get the last one in.
Yeah, he did. No one takes my facts of the week.
You're still redundant.
You're
This is
still
like-
redundant.
This is not a
so-
boxing ring. A fat ring. That comes nicely to our conclusions and final opinions. So, Marisa, since it was your film that you had to force us to endure, and what do you think about this?
I really like the film. It's classic, like De Niro, really good acting. That was the thing that drew me in the most. Again, all the roles that he can play, so it's interesting to see him play this one. And yes, should I give my rating now?
Yeah, go for it.
I would give it a 7.8.
Ooh.
Decent.
That's a good rating.
Yeah.
Who's going next? Me?
If you want.
I feel like I'm a bit more
Stroking your trim.
Yes.
Yes.
Lightning. They could have done quite a bit.
But give him the
more.
glass. Give him the glass in the hand of
I
Pinky.
need something, you know. I have to put it down like this, you know.
Pinky.
Yeah, you're gonna use your pinky.
Just because you're an Iconium doesn't mean you can sorry, boy. I'm gonna be moving house soon. Leave me.
Sorry, gang. Sorry. West Side.
West Side like this. Who does West Side like this?
Shit. My own
East
gang
Side.
sides. Back to rating. Yeah, he really carried the movie on his back with his acting. The rest of the actors, I don't know. Like, what's that woman's name from American Horror Story?
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange. She's always been just good at screaming, and that's what she kind of did in this as well, just kind of screaming.
She's Scream Queen. That's what they used to call them, Scream Queens,
Yeah.
in those sort of like horror films, the classic.
It's
thrillers.
like there were just two main people. Even though, like, the dad of the movie, whatever, Sam, he didn't like. He just kind of run around about. Really, I think Robert De Niro was the main focus of the entire movie. So just based off of that, I'm gonna give it a solid 6.5, which is still quite good.
That's
For
okay.
you.
Quite good.
Yeah,
for
for
fan
you. That's.
rating, that's decent.
I liked it. It's a good movie.
Mm.
It's a good movie.
You
Okay.
say that with confidence.
Do you
It's a good movie.
It is
want me to? Yeah.
a good movie.
Because I'm the most lenient one.
You're always you always
I'm
gonna
always
go
the voice
last.
of reason. That's what I am.
Yeah. If I gave my review, I think this is my favourite De Niro film so far from what I've seen. 100% agree. I think he carried it all on his back. Still leaves me with chills whenever I go to sleep. So to be honest, this is quite a high rating for me, but I think an 8.5. Just, I mean, the ending really destroyed it from being it to be an absolute 9. But this is like a horror thriller that I was really hooked on, and it just gave me chills throughout. So 8.5.
Yeah, solid rating, solid rating.
Solid.
For one, I term this movie as a classic thriller. It's got all those sort of, when you think thriller, you think bit of jump, bit of blood, bit of death, bit of sickness, bit of what the fuck have I just seen right at the end. So I think it was a great film. My rating when I wrote it down was 7.7. Considering how great, obviously in hindsight, I think about, you know, De Niro's acting was, I would say I bump it up to about 7.9 as a final rating. Just because De Niro did so well. And overall, besides some, I would say, dodge or sketchy scenes within the film, or right at the end where they subverted my expectation, I still think they did really well. The artistry, the ability to direct, the actual sound, set piece design, the outfits, because De Niro's outfits were pretty good as well, and you get to see a very nice progression of how, you know, Katie brings down Sam. So I think it was a great film.
Yeah, brilliant. It's just brilliant and great choice. I must say, great choice.
Are we still doing those like average scores at the end of it? Or
I don't know what the average is, so
you've got 8.5.
8.5 to
She's 7.8, 7.9, 6.5. So it
Is
was
that
probably-
7.5?
Yeah, about 7.5 overall. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about what.
I feel like constantly bringing down the score.
You always do. You always do.
My negativity.
Can we just kick him out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kicked.
Ouch.
like in the last podcast.
I'm sorry, bro.
Being made
I'm sorry.
redundant from
Yeah,
flashbacks a week ago. He's literally been pushed
I was
out.
there with my barbecue flipping it. I was like,
We actually-
to the car. I was listening to the car. I was like, I'll get a live show.
He was feeling like, I want to listen. And then Adam's like,
I just wanted you to finish.
Executed order.
Execute order. I think it's.
Mike Wazowski. I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski. Always watching.
Who's got the oh shit.
Mike Wazowski.
What's the thing, mate? I think it's my choice for next week's or whenever's the next thriller. I don't know what my original choice was, but I'm going to pick that's going to be different. If you all got
That's a drum roll.
no, drum roll.
That's just wrong.
alright, well guys, I'm
Wrong
off.
on
I'm
so
gone.
many-
I'm gone.
He's gone. He's
I'm
gone.
gone.
It's okay.
Nah.
He's been replaced.
You've already been replaced.
No, leave Henrik alone.
Can I have it?
I kept you down, bitch!
Is that how you treat your women?
Alright, Max,
Yeah.
can you give me
No, mine!
Damn it. Right, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick a Black Mirror episode.
Oh,
Yes, we haven't done the
shit!
Black Mirror. I'll probably pick a thrilling Black Mirror episode, and then I think our next genre should be horror movies. Maybe going into that because obviously Halloween's on its way. That's from us. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and you know, peace out.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Deuces, people.
Why did you just do that? I can't believe this guy.
Apologies.
I can't believe you've done this.
Get out of here. Bye.
Deuces, people.
Bye. That's sayonara.